If you want to make more money with your reselling business in the year 2024, I got you. These are my 6 most profitable reselling practices. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park. I have been reselling now part-time, let's see, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh my gosh, this is like my 6th year, 7th year? I started in December of 2017. So really 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I'm starting on my 7th year. Holy cow, it's been a while. And in that time, I have tried all of the things. I'm talking like all of the tips that anyone has ever shared. I have tried them for myself because I've always been on the quest to make more money from my reselling side hustle. So I'm going to share with you in this video the top 6 things that truly work when it comes to making more money as a reseller. If you enjoy these kinds of tips and tricks videos, especially from the perspective of a part-time reseller, you know, I do teach high school choir as my full-time gig. But if you want to learn how I make as much as I do, let's see, in the year 2023, I did almost 20 grand in net profit. And in years prior to that, I had done like 25,000. I think one year I hit almost 30,000. So I'm making like pretty good side money, I would say, from reselling. But if you want more videos from me showing up on your YouTube homepage with more tips on how to grow your reselling business, definitely subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, just more like tips and tricks type videos, definitely let me know by hitting that like button. Now, these tips are all assuming that you're trying to sell things that people actually want. Like none of these will apply if you're actually selling garbage on the internet. If you're just selling things from like 15 years ago that are stained and ripped and nobody cares about those styles, those things no one can help you sell, okay? But I'm assuming that you have sourced good items that people actually want or need in their lives. And with that assumption, let's step right into our first tip. So I'm going to start by talking about how to sell through some of your stale listings, some of your older listings that have been around for a while. And the first thing I suggest is relisting stale listings. Now, I personally make the most sales on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And I'm going to take you step by step through how to do a lot of the things that I'm talking about in this video on all 3 of those platforms. But I think the best way to sell through, especially stale listings, things that have been listed for more than 30, 45, 60 days, the best way to sell through those things is to relist those things. And in most cases, what that means is you're going to end the listing or even go as far as deleting the original listing on the different platforms that you sell on, but then listing that same item again. Now, there are a few reasons why you want to do this. The first reason is that most reselling platforms favor newer listings. And what I mean by that is they are going to promote listings that were just listed that day versus a listing that you created 2.5 years ago. Like they don't have faith in your 2.5-year-old listing because no one has bought that item yet versus something that's brand new, something that is exciting, something that hopefully is something that today's people want. They are going to prioritize showing those kinds of listings to people versus prioritizing old listings that you created years and years ago. Now, I don't have like the actual science or the actual data or the actual verbiage from different reselling platforms stating this as truth, but here's how I know it's true. When I go through the act of deleting a listing and then creating a new listing with that same item and sometimes with the same exact pictures, same exact description and listing title and same exact price, and that thing sells the day that it's relisted, that's how I know that reselling platforms value recency when it comes to people's listings, because that has happened to me time and time again. I will relist something, sometimes things that have been listed for over a year or even 2 years, and it will sell that day or even in that same week. Another argument for relisting stale listings is perhaps there's a reason your item hasn't been selling, and going through the act of relisting something will give you the opportunity to fix any mistakes you may have made when you originally made that listing. For example, I have been known to accidentally list things like American Eagle shorts on eBay for $2,499. And that's because obviously I meant to sell it for $24.99, but my little pinky just was not able to hit that period key hard enough, and so it got listed as $2,499. Nobody is out here buying American Eagle shorts for $2,499. And so naturally, these shorts would not sell, or any other listings where I made those kinds of careless mistakes with would not sell. I've also found, as I have gone through the relisting process, that sometimes I'll spell things wrong. Sometimes I'll spell the brand name wrong. So how on earth do I expect someone to find the item when I don't even have the brand name spelled correctly? If someone is looking for something by that brand, they're sure not going to find it by typing the brand name into the search bar unless they misspell it the way that I misspelled it. So another reason why relisting is going to be really helpful when it comes to selling through some of your stale listings is it will give you the opportunity to find any mistakes that you may have had, or maybe even retake some pictures. If you're looking at a listing and you're like, I get it, like these pictures are not very good, maybe you can retake some pictures. It just gives you an opportunity to revisit your listings with a fresh eye and perhaps figure out why it is that that item hasn't sold yet. And the final reason I think it's helpful to just relist listings is because maybe the price that you priced it at when you first listed the item is no longer the price that that item is selling for now. And so it gives you a chance to just kind of revisit comps. It gives you the chance to lower the price of things. You know, it's kind of like your way of putting it on sale, if you will. It's just an opportunity for you to find ways to entice someone to buy your item this time around. So that is my number one tip when it comes to selling through listings that have been sitting in your store for quite some time. Relist those listings. And this is how I would go about doing that on those 3 different platforms that I mentioned. I'm going to start by showing you 2 different ways to relist stale listings on Poshmark. So the first way, you don't need any extra tools or anything. It's just using the Poshmark website or app itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this New with Tags Eileen Fisher listing. It's pretty old and it's probably priced a bit too high. And all you're going to do is go into Edit Listing, and you're going to scroll all the way down and you're going to see the option to copy the listing. You'll see right next to that the option to delete the listing, but before we delete it, we want to go ahead and copy it. So I'm going to go ahead and click copy listing, and they're telling you what's going to happen when you do that. Now, one hack I have before you do this is to copy and paste your listing title. You're going to see why here in a second, but I just went ahead and copied that. I'm going to go ahead and copy the listing. It's going to create a new listing for me with all of the information from this original listing carried over. And when I do that, what you'll notice is here's all my pictures. This is all the same. The description is the same. The category is the same. The size and everything carried over. But what's a little annoying is that what they do with the listing title is they have the word copy in front with a dash, and then they have as much of your listing title as they can fit, but then they have like a ... at the end. That's why we went ahead and copied our listing title from the original listing, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all and I'm going to paste my original listing. That just saves a little bit of time. You don't have to sit there and type in the end of what was missing when it carried over. And if I want to make any adjustments, I can. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and change the selling price. I'm going to change it to $125. And if I want to go in here and make some adjustments to the description, you know, if I want to play around with my keywords, I can do all of that. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and change the price and hope for the best. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Now, I do have to make sure that I delete the original listing. So what I'm going to do is go back into my closet. Here it is, right? Oh no, that's my new listing. So I'm going to go into Eileen Fisher. I'm going to search that, and it's going to pull up all Eileen Fisher pieces. I know that this is the original one because it's priced at $150 and because it had 1 like, whereas this is brand new, so it has no likes. It's very important that you go in and delete the original listing, otherwise you're going to have 2 of the same listing, and that sets up the potential for you to accidentally sell the same thing twice. Now that that's deleted, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I actually relist stale listings, because that's pretty tedious. The way that I typically do it on a daily basis is I use a Chrome extension called Posher VA. You can see it right here. Here's all of the things that it can do. It can share your closet for you. It can follow other poshers. Here is actions. This is where you can send out offers to likers, send bulk offers. There's all these different things. This is showing you like how many things you've shared every day. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into actions and I'm going to go to relist. If I click on it, it'll explain what the relist function does. So it says relist old items to refresh listings and increase exposure. And I do have to grant it permission. So this is saying, yes, I want to let it do it. This is for my school. Lord have mercy. Let's go back in.
Okay, so if we go to relist, and here it's showing you how many items you can relist. It's 150. There are some options here, but what I've done is I've gone ahead and set it up so that I want items to be at least 60 days old. I want to give each item, 2 months time to try and sell, but if that doesn't work, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have Posture VA automatically relist those items for me, and they're going to relist 50 items a day. Now, typically I don't have 50 items a day to relist. Sometimes there's zero, because if I'm looking at a 60-day minimum in regards to when an item can be relisted, there's gonna come a time when everything has been relisted, and every day that Posture VA checks, it's kind of like, there's nothing that's 60 days old today. And you can see here, for example, this is the activity log. It started, like it looked through my entire closet at 6:01 this morning, and there were no items that were older than 60 days. And so it didn't do any relisting today, and that's fine. But I do have it set up and scheduled so that it's going to relist 50 items a day. And that's how I maximize my ability to relist stale listings on Poshmark. You can do it manually, but boy, do I recommend using Posture VA. And if you want to try it out, I do have a coupon link that will allow you to save 20% off of your first payment. And I will have that linked down in the description below. Now let's talk about eBay. If I go to my eBay and I go to selling, I want to go ahead and click on active listings. And when I click on active listings, I have it set up so that it's going to show me my oldest listings first. The ones that are, set to relist, and this is saying, hey, in 12 hours and 10 minutes, this listing right here is going to go ahead and relist on its own, because at that point it's going to be 30 days old. And before eBay can relist a listing for me, I want to go ahead and end all of these listings and sell similar. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So I'm just going to scroll down until I don't see any more red listings. So you can see, like, this one is not quite 30 days out. So starting here, I'm going to go ahead and select all of these listings, and there's going to be quite a few. And because I do 30 days out on eBay versus 60, there typically are at least a handful of listings for me to end and then sell similar on a daily basis. And so I'm still going through and selecting all of these. By the way, if you see these little icons that say things like link and stuff, and these little like arrow icons, those are List Perfectly icons. So you can see I selected 58 items. 58 items in my eBay store are set to just go ahead and relist. But instead of doing that, again, I want to maximize the process of relisting these listings. So I'm going to go to actions. I'm actually going to end these 58 listings, which kind of sounds scary, but you'll see what we're going to do. So I'm going to end those 58. They're now no longer active in my eBay store. But what I'm going to do after they end is I'm going to go ahead and go into ended listings over on the side here. And those 58 that I just ended are going to be at the very top. And so let's see, how many listings do I, let's show 100 listings at a time. I'm going to go ahead and select all of them. And then I just have to, what is it, like unclick 42. I'm going to go through, I am not counting, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so let's see, I should have 58 selected. Yes, and that's how many I had deleted. So now, instead of pressing relist, and the reason why I don't want to relist them is I don't want it to look like the same exact listing from however long ago that I had started it, just being relisted. I actually want to create a brand new listing, but use the same information and pictures from my original listings. And if I create a brand new listing, then what happens is it looks like a new listing to eBay. eBay is going to promote it a little bit more on my behalf because they're assuming that this is something fresh. They're not assuming that you're just trying to continue pushing out like a 2 or maybe even 3-year-old listing. So they're a little bit more excited about getting it in front of people's eyes. So I'm going to click on Sell Similar. And what it's going to do is it's going to show me all of the information for all of my different listings. And I look at 2 things. One is I look at the price, and I look at, do I want to change the price of some of these things? Typically, if things are being relisted, I'm just going to go ahead and lower the price for a lot of things. Now, some things I have already lowered the price down to maybe like the maximum amount I'm willing to drop the price to, but for the most part, I have some wiggle room to play around with prices a little bit. Now, as I do this, I do need to be more careful because I have been known to like just not put the period. And so instead of $21.99, I'm saying that I'm charging $2,199 for this. So you don't want to go so fast that you're making dumb mistakes like that. But I will generally drop the price of things by like, like $3 to $5, just kind of depending on what the item is and how long I've had it. So I'm going to go through and continue changing the prices on a bunch of these things, and then we'll talk about what I'm going to do next.
A few moments later.
All right, so I have changed the prices on everything that I want to change prices on. So the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these listings. And if you look, most of these I am allowing offers on because I have already changed all of these listings from don't allow offers to allow offers. And that's maybe previously when I relisted them at some point. So a lot of these items I'm relisting for like the second or third or fourth time. But you can see there's one here that says don't allow offers, just because more often than not, there's more than one listing that I'm not allowing offers on. I'm just gonna go ahead and select all. That's kind of like the default next step that I do. So I go to bulk edit, I go to offers, and I say I want to allow offers on everything. I personally don't offer like a minimum offer amount because sometimes there are things that I'm willing to let go of for dirt cheap because I've just had them for too long. So I'm going to click apply. Again, it's only going to really make a difference on that one listing. And so now that that's all done, I'm going to submit all on those 58 listings. And I just ended 58 listings and created 58 brand new listings using all of my old information in under 5 minutes. 58 listings in under 5 minutes is pretty insane. So I'm going to click done. And now all of those listings have popped up as brand new listings in my eBay store. Finally, let's look at Mercari. One thing I like about Mercari is you can sort by oldest first. So I can look at my very oldest listings. Unfortunately, on Mercari, there are no shortcuts to relisting stale listings. You have to do kind of the old-fashioned, copy any information you want, download pictures that you need, and you've got to delete the old listing and then relist by creating a brand new listing and putting all of your information back into that listing. I personally don't do that because I have something called List Perfectly where I save all of the information from all of my listings. I actually list to List Perfectly first and then push out all of my listings to the different platforms that I sell on. And that way I don't have to manually relist on Mercari. To be honest, I don't even do it that much though using List Perfectly, even though that would make it much easier. And all I would do with List Perfectly, if I were to be a little bit more consistent about relisting, is I would go to my oldest listings on Mercari, find those listings in List Perfectly, and just push them back out to Mercari as brand new listings, and then I would delete the listings that I just relisted.
The next tip that I have for selling through stale listings is to run a live show. I have tried out Poshmark live shows and I have tried Whatnot shows. I don't really have a favorite over the other, although for what I'm about to talk about, I think maybe it is a little bit easier to do on Poshmark. But if you have items in your closet or in your store that are just so old that you're willing to pull them and donate them at this point, I would say run a live show with those items, because clearly if you're at the point where you're willing to donate those items, making a couple bucks on each item is going to be better than nothing. So what I would do is pull the items that are amongst your oldest, most stalest listings, and I would run a Posh live show or a Whatnot show. Start everything at like a $3 bid, and if something sells, great, you made a little bit of money off of it. If it doesn't, who cares? You were going to donate it anyway. But it's a good way to just kind of clean out your closet every once in a while, pull out some of those bad buys, and just streamline what you have listed. An added bonus when it comes to running a Posh live show is that, one, it's really easy to just take things from your closet and put them into a Posh live show. But there is some anecdotal research that suggests that those who run Posh live shows have stronger sales on Poshmark altogether. I don't think that Poshmark will ever come out and state that as gospel truth. They're never going to be like,
hey, if you want to make more sales, you have to do Posh Live, and then we'll also reward you with more traditional sales in your closet.
They're never going to come out and say that. There is anecdotal evidence, though, that that is the case. And so if you can run a Posh live show, maybe once a month or once every couple weeks, and just sell through some of your oldest listings, I think it's a win-win. It's a great way to get rid of a lot of stuff at once. My third most profitable reselling practice is, I think, a little bit more geared towards newer listings, but definitely works for old listings as well, and that is sending offers. Again, this is something that can be done a variety of ways, and you can use different resources and different tools to help you, but this is something that I do on a daily basis on Poshmark and eBay. I would do it more on Mercari, except that I don't know. I don't want to take the time to do it. It's not hard. I just don't do it. But generally speaking, especially on Poshmark, I will price things a little bit higher than what I expect them to sell for. And that leaves me a little bit of wiggle room to send offers to likers on Poshmark or to send offers to watchers on eBay. I generally find that when I first list an item, I get a lot of likes right away. And then the amount of likes that I get on an item tapers off the longer that that item sits. The same kind of goes on eBay. I'll notice that if an item is pretty hot and desirable, if the brand is trending at that moment or that style is trending, I'll get a lot of views and watchers on that item right away. And I want to strike when the iron is hot. And so on Poshmark, I will send out offers to likers within 5 minutes of someone liking an item. And that's by using a Chrome extension called Poshmark VA. And on eBay, I will manually go through every night or just kind of whenever I check my phone every once in a while, I will send out offers to watchers on eBay throughout the day. And I find that I make a large percentage of sales by sending offers. And again, traditionally, I am selling more of my newer listings with offers because it is my newer listings that are receiving the most attention in the form of likes and people watching those items. Now, a way that I do like to utilize offers to likers or offers to watchers to try and sell through my stale listings is by sending really aggressive offers. So if I've got an item that's been listed for 2 years, perhaps I just relisted it, going back to my first tip, and 10 people like the item because in their eyes and in the platform's eyes, it's a new listing. What I will do is I will send an aggressively good offer. Like if the item was listed for $50, I will send a $30 offer or a $25 offer because the truth is, if this is something that I've been sitting on for a really long time, I just want it gone. But to them, that looks like a really good deal. They don't know that I've had this in my possession for a very long time. They don't know that I'm out here doing everything under the sun trying to get rid of this item. They just think I'm being super generous, and the chances of them accepting that offer are a lot higher. So here is how I send offers on a variety of platforms.
All right, so we're going to start by talking about how to send offers on Poshmark. I'm currently under news and I filtered by likes. So these are all people who have liked items in my closet in the past. Now, for the sake of transparency, I don't actually do what I'm about to show you manually because again, this is something that I do using the Chrome extension Poshmark VA. One of the things that I have Poshmark VA do on my behalf is send out offers to likers 5 minutes after someone has liked an item. But for the sake of showing you how to do this manually, all you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on the listing that has a like, and you will have the option to send an offer or do a price drop on this item. You can see that there's also a tile that says view offer. This is because, again, someone liked the item a little bit ago and Poshmark VA sent them an offer, and we can see what that offer is. Poshmark VA sent an offer of $29, and that is with discounted shipping. But if I want to go ahead and send an offer because someone just recently liked the item, I'm going to click on this tile. I'm going to decide how much of an offer I want to send. And so I go to offers to likers. I'm going to decide on the amount that I want to send an offer for. So it can be anywhere from 10% off to, I don't know, you can say you're going to sell it for $3. Oh, I guess you can't say $3. Must be between $7 and $31. I can send a $7 offer if I want. You do have to attach a shipping discount to it. Now, there is a way around that. Essentially, if you actually create a bundle for the buyer and put the item in the bundle and send them an offer through the bundle, then you don't have to attach a shipping discount to it. But if I were to send a $7 offer, send discounted shipping, Poshmark shows you right here what your earnings would be. Clearly, I'm not going to press submit because I don't want this to sell for $7. But one thing to keep in mind is, as you saw, I just sent a $29 offer to this person. But tomorrow, if I decide, I'm willing to go a little bit lower, all I have to do is send an offer that is at least 10% lower than the lowest offer I have sent to this particular buyer. And so, like I said, I sent a $29 offer. So I could send this person a $26 offer tomorrow and, attach a shipping discount to it, and she would get this lower offer, which, might be enough of a discount for her to finally bite this time around. So that's how you do it on Poshmark. And then if we go over to eBay, you'll notice again, I'm on my home page, and you'll see over here that there are some tasks that I can do. And one of the tasks that I can do, it says right here, listings eligible to send offers. So if I click on that, it's going to show me all of the items that have watchers on them, or people have like looked at this item. So for example, this eCrew top, I have the ability to send offers on this. It was listed for $44.99, and I have not sent offers on these yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do these in real time. I'm going to go ahead and offer a $37.90 discount. For this, I don't have to offer like discounted shipping or anything. You can also put like a nice little message with your offer, which I think is a nice touch. I just use the generic, here's your chance to get this item at a great price, but you can put whatever you want there. You can decide if you want to allow counter offers, and you can automatically send offers. So there are lots of nice little features when it comes to eBay's offer to watchers, and you'll notice that I ended the sent amount in my offer in 90. I do that so that I can track later when I am, doing my numbers for the week or for the month, like how many items sold through offers to watchers, because the only things that sell with 90 cents at the end are things that I sent out offers on. So that's just a personal thing that I do to help me keep track of which items sold via offers to watchers, or which items sold, from people sending me offers, or what people just bought outright. Because if people buy items outright, unless it's a sale item, it's going to end in 99 cents for me on eBay. Again, just a personal thing. You do not have to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and press send. I'll just do one more so you can, again, kind of see my process. This is a pair of little slides, which hopefully will sell very soon because it's now finally kind of the season where people are looking for this kind of stuff. I probably still have it priced too high, but we're going to send a $59.90 offer and see if anyone bites on that. So I will go through later and just continue sending offers to watchers on all of these items, and I do actually make a good number of sales that way. They make it pretty easy to send offers to likers as well. You can see the tile right here. I am just in my active listings, and the way that I think is most efficient as far as sending offers to likers on Mercari is to sort by the items that have the most number of likes. That way you've got more people that are receiving these offers, and hopefully one of those people bite, versus just sending offers on things that only have one like or something like that. So that's definitely a strategy. And you can see here this dress has had 20 likes, although to be honest with you, I don't think I have this anymore. I think that this sold, so that's kind of silly. I probably just need to delete this or like check in my inventory. But this item I know I still have. It has 14 likes. I don't believe I have ever sent an offer on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and send an offer. You'll also see that next to it there's the option to promote the listing, and that's actually not a bad thing to do on Mercari either. So offers to likers, this is where I can reduce the price for anyone who has liked the item, and I can decide how much I want to drop the price by. If I want to drop it even more than that, I absolutely can. It's not going to change the price of the item itself. It's just going to send these people an offer. Versus promoting the listing means that I'm going to actually drop the price of the item by 5%, and then what'll happen is the people who have liked the item will see that I did promote the listing, and it'll also be the new price for this particular piece in general, and it'll also kind of like move the listing up in search, if that makes sense, because I've kind of like updated the listing. So lots of different ways you can go about it. One nice thing too about promoting it, if this matters to you, is literally on the listing itself there's like a strike through on the original price, so people can see that it's on quote unquote sale. So that is a little bit different from just sending offers to likers. Now I'm contemplating which one I want to do. Let's just go ahead and promote it. I feel like I just need to like freshen this listing up a bit, and that's one way that I'll do that. Now, when it comes to promoting listings, you can actually only promote 10 listings a day. So I'm just going to go ahead and promote these 10 that, have a lot of likes on them. And I'll show you one other strategy when it comes to offers to likers. Okay, so I have reached my promotional limit, 10 items per day. So my other strategy is to click on this bell for like kind of the news feed on Mercari, and it's going to show me which items have recently been liked. So this item was liked 8 hours ago. It's a vintage Talbot's vest. So it kind of would make sense for me to send an offer on this listing because someone liked it pretty recently. And the way that I can do that is if I go into, again, my listings, I can search Talbot's now that I know that that is the item that was liked. Here it is right here. It's got 1 like on it. I'll go ahead and send an offer. I'm going to go ahead and send an offer of $25, and we're going to see if that does it. So again, you can look in your news feed, see what items have been liked recently. Here's another one. This one has gotten 2 likes pretty recently. It's a pair of naturalizer boots that were actually returned to me on eBay. So this is 2 likes. I'm going to send an offer to likers. Let's try $40 and we'll see how that goes. So that is how you send offers on Mercari.
And then my last 3 tips are about just making more sales in general. You know, we're not targeting stale listings, we're not targeting new listings, we're just trying to sell more in general. The first tip I have, and you've heard this from every reseller, is just to be consistent with your listing. That doesn't mean you have to list every day, but it does mean that you need to have some sort of listing schedule. You need to be getting up new listings at least on a weekly basis, because the truth is reselling platforms give you what you give it first. And so if you are pretty active on that platform, you're listing great stuff to that platform on a daily basis or every few days or every week. If you're pretty consistent with your listings and even, relistings like we talked about, then that platform is going to be pretty consistent with you. It's like the more active you are on a platform, that platform's trust in you as a seller grows, and they reward you by just throwing more sales your way by showing your listings to more people. Again, I don't have the charts and the numbers and the graphs in front of me because they don't really give us all of that information. But I typically find that when I am consistent with my listings, I am also consistent in making sales. So build listing into your schedule. I have a set time every day where I get my listings done, and only after that am I allowed to do things like look at Instagram or, just do other fun things that I want to do. I don't let myself do those things until I have gotten my 5 listings up for the day and cross-listed those listings onto a bunch of different platforms. I want to make sure that my business is set up and ready to go. And the truth is too, the act of getting those 5 listings up just makes me feel really accomplished. I've already gotten something important done for the day, and it just kind of sets the productivity for the rest of the day. My 5th tip is to run sales, specifically tiered sales. Now, I think this only really applies to Poshmark and eBay, and more so on eBay. It's much easier to run a sale on eBay, but there are ways to do it on Poshmark as well. Essentially, what I mean by tiered sale is this. You pick a time frame for your sale. So let's say Wednesday through Sunday, and you'll offer your smallest discount on the first couple days, and then you'll increase the discount maybe in the middle of that time frame, and then you'll offer your biggest discount at the end of that time frame. So if I'm working with a Wednesday to Sunday time frame, perhaps on Wednesday and Thursday I will offer 30% off of everything. On Friday and Saturday maybe I'll offer 40% off, and then on Sunday I offer 50% off. By doing this, I'm not selling really amazing items for 50% off right away. I'm giving items a chance to sell at that smaller discount, because let's say one of your items on Poshmark has 10 likes on it, and when you send out that offers to likers, they get the notification that that same 30% off discount has been sent to 9 other people, and that might be the push that someone needs to hit accept and buy that item from you, and you just sold that item for 30% off now instead of 50% off. Especially if it's a newer listing, it's a very trendy item, it's a brand that people are super excited about. That might be the way to make the sale, is with the 30% off discount. But let's say that 30% off deal wasn't sweet enough to entice anyone to hit accept. When you keep increasing the amount that you're willing to offer as a discount, the hope is that by the time it gets to 40% or by the time it gets to 50%, someone says, okay, I didn't want that item for 30% off. I'm willing to get it at 50% off though. So not only are you giving the same people who received that first 30% off offer the opportunity to purchase it at a bigger discount, but you're also allotting a little bit more time for more people to like or watch the item. And then by the time that 50% off offer rolls around, perhaps that's what they'll get for the first time. And perhaps that's the discount that they need to see in order to buy that item from you. There's a variety of ways to do this. You can offer these discounts to all of the items that you have up for sale. You can hand pick which items you want to go on sale. There's a number of ways to do it, but I do think that running sales helps people feel like they're getting a good deal from you, and that helps you increase the number of items that you're selling in that time frame. So here is how I run sales both on Poshmark and on eBay.
I'm going to show you two strategies that I use to run quote unquote sales on Poshmark. And I say quote unquote because you can't run a true sale on Poshmark the way that you can on eBay. For example, I can't just click buttons and put my entire Poshmark closet on a 50% off sale. It's not going to do that thing where it shows the original price and there's like a slash through and in red it says $50. Poshmark just doesn't have that capability yet, but they have come out with a couple new features that do make sending offers in mass easier, or messaging many people at once easier. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those two things. So the first thing is, if you go to your closet on Poshmark, if you click on this little tool icon here, you're going to have the option to make offer to likers. So I'm going to click on that. You're going to pick on what kind of offer you want to send. Again, let's say we're going to go big or go home. We're going to do this 50% off sale. You're going to select what tier discounted shipping you want to offer. Again, if you're going to do offers to likers, you do have to offer discounted shipping. So let's say I'm feeling generous. I'm going to do this $4.99 sale. And then what's going to happen is you click next. It's going to show you all of your listings. You can select all, which means you're putting your entire closet on a 50% off quote unquote sale. Not really though, because the only people that are going to see this sale price are people that have liked your item. So you can select all if you're willing to put your entire closet on a 50% off sale, or you can just go through and start selecting whichever items you are willing to sell for 50% off. One of the nice things is you can sort by oldest listing. Now, if you are someone like me who relists on a pretty regular basis, this may not really mean very much. You can sort by price low to high or high to low, however you want to do it. I usually just kind of go like this and start clicking through the things that I am okay, having be a part of that sale. And like I shared earlier in the video, I do like to run tiered sales. So, maybe at first on like a Wednesday to Thursday, I'll offer 20% off of everything. And maybe on Friday and Saturday, I'll offer 35% off of everything. And on Sunday, I'll do the big 50%. And that gives items an opportunity to sell for not that big of a discount. And then, finally by Sunday, I'm just kind of feeling desperate. I'm wanting to let go of things. And that's a really great way to make a lot of sales and just to get those offers in front of as many people as possible in the shortest amount of time. So the second way that I like to quote unquote run sales is I'll actually go into my profile and I'll go to my shoppers. And one nice thing about my shoppers is that you can send messages to many different groups of people. So for example, people who have liked your items, you can add their likes to bundles, and then you can message in the bundle any information that you want about a sale that you're running, or you can just start sending them offers on items that you just put in a bundle for them. Same thing with if someone has already made a bundle in your closet, you can send them offers. What I like to do though is I like to reach out to all of my likers or all of my past buyers, and I like to add their likes to a bundle, and then I just like to send them a comment saying, hey, I'm running a sale in my closet. Everything is 40% off. Feel free to throw things in a bundle. Send me an offer that's 40% off and I'll accept. So it's a good way to kind of get the word out to as many people as possible that you are running a sale. It's just frustrating because it's not going out to everyone on Poshmark. They have to have interacted with your closet at some point first. And this is definitely something that you want to use in moderation. You don't want to spam people too often. I honestly probably only do this at a max like 4 times a year, maybe once a quarter. And to be honest, I don't even think I did it that many times in the year 2023. I don't even think I did it 4 times. It just kind of depends on how desperate you are to move things out. But those are the 2 ways that I would run sales on Poshmark. Now on eBay, like I said, it is actually like running a for real sale. What I do is I go into marketing, I go into promotions, and you're going to click on this tile that says create a promotion. And you can also see like all the different kinds of promotions I've run in the past. I generally like to do a sale event plus markdown. And so what I do is, again, I select what kind of sale I want to run. Let's say I want to do a 20% off sale. You can also do like, take a certain amount off of each item. You can offer free shipping. I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to select the items. And again, you have the opportunity to hand pick which items you're going to put in that sale, or you can just go ahead and put every single item in your store on sale. I usually do that one. I usually go by all inventory, and then I save and review. And then what's going to happen is you have to name your sale. You say when you want to start the sale and when you want to end it. And the nice thing about this feature is you can schedule sales out. So if you are the type of person that likes to run a sale every weekend, at the beginning of each month, you can sit there and schedule out all of your sales for that month. Or if you're running a tiered sale, you can go ahead and say, hey, from Thursday to Friday, I'm going to offer this percentage. On Saturday, I'm offering this percentage. And on Sunday, I'm offering this percentage. You can schedule that all out so that you just do all of that work on the front end, and then you don't have to think about it. eBay's just going to go ahead and start running your sale for you. So that's how I run sales on Poshmark and eBay.
And then my final tip when it comes to selling more items is to list on more places. If you are only listing on one platform right now, that means that you are missing out on all of the customers from all of the other platforms. For example, if you're only selling on Poshmark, you are missing out on a worldwide audience of buyers from eBay. And if you're only selling on eBay, I know you're already selling on the biggest reselling marketplace that's out there, but there are a lot of people who do not shop on eBay and they only shop on Poshmark, or they only shop on Mercari, or they only shop on Depop. And if you've already got these listings up on eBay with all this information in the item specifics, it's not going to take a lot of time, and it's not going to be very hard for you to get those listings on other reselling platforms as well. I actually do a lot of secondhand shopping on reselling platforms. I don't buy from eBay. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I never have any referral credit. I always have Poshmark and Mercari referral credit to use, and I never have eBay referral credit. And also, I don't know, like for me, shopping on eBay is kind of hard. Shopping on Poshmark is honestly kind of hard too, but I've learned how to do it because of the referral credit. And so if you're only selling on eBay, you're never going to get my business because I'm not shopping there. I personally cross-list to a variety of platforms. At one point, I was on like 6 or 7 different platforms at once, but I cross-list to all those platforms using a program called List Perfectly. I would never sit there and manually cross-list everything from one platform to another. That just takes so much time and so much of my energy. List Perfectly lets me cross-list so quickly. And it also has a lot of other functions in my reselling business as well. It's what I use to manage my inventory. It's what I use for my sales analytics. It's where I put like all the information regarding where something sold, how much it sold for, what my net profit is, all that information. I use List Perfectly every day for a variety of reasons, but the reason I started subscribing to the service in the first place was because of the cross-listing, because I wanted to be on more than one platform, and I didn't want to do that manually. If you want to try out List Perfectly for yourself, I do have a coupon code, BECKYPARK, and that helps you save 30% off of your first month of List Perfectly. It is definitely worth trying. They do have a free trial that you can use before you commit to it, and I am not exaggerating when I say that it has changed my reselling game. I would not be able to resell at the level that I do without it. So that's it, guys. Those are my 6 best reselling practices that help me make as many sales as I do, and I'd love to hear from you. What am I missing? What other best reselling practices are there that you can share with us in the comments so that we can read all the comments and learn from one another? I truly believe that the best teachers, the best content creators are the ones who are always in a state of learning, and you guys always have so much knowledge and information to share with me and the other people in my audience. So I appreciate it so much when you guys drop your knowledge down in the comments below. And I encourage you, if you are looking for more tips on how to grow your reselling business, I encourage you to spend some time in the comment section just reading what other people have to say and share. I will also link a playlist right here that is full of videos with more tips just like this to help you make more sales and just to grow your reselling business in general. But if you did enjoy this video, if you feel like you got anything out of it, I would super duper appreciate a like on your way out. You can do that by hitting the little thumbs up below the screen. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!